Hey guys, it's Gina, and I am going to walk through a video, and it may seem a little weird, my hand movements in the video, because I'm actually talking to you. I really tried. I was going to do this as a scrapping in time video, and then as I got further into it, I forgot that I was recording my voice, and stop talking. So, we're going to do the voiceover, and I am suffering from a little bit of a cold, so hopefully we'll get through this video without too much coughing and things like that. But I really kind of want to get started again in posting in a more consistent fashion, so I didn't want to go another day and wait to do this voiceover, because if I did, typically I then move on to something else, and then I never get these voiceovers done. So I'm gonna try from now on, going forward. I'm gonna do the layout, write the blog post, make the video, render the video, get it all posted, so that it's not like weeks and weeks and weeks, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't uploaded a video to YouTube in a while. So I'm going to work on that. I'm not making any promises, but the beginning of this year has been kind of nuts, but hopefully it'll settle down a little bit now, and I will be able to get back into posting and scrapbooking and things like that. So I'm scrapbooking this very, very old photo. I came home from a trip to Georgia to see my brother, and I hadn't been in my scrap room in a long, long, long time, and I just recently redid the whole thing again. It's like an every year or every 6 months kind of thing, and so I've been working on that a lot, and I might do a tour. I'm not sure. You get a lot of negative feedback sometimes when you do scrap room tours, so I'm just not sure. I thought about doing it as pictures on the blog and just walking it through that way. Maybe I'll do that. Like I said, I'm not sure. But I just got back from Georgia, and I had a couple of days off, and I really wanted to get back in my scrap room, but I didn't want to print photos. So I just picked up my stack of photos. I picked a couple of pictures out of there, and we went with it. I am using the January Scraps of Darkness kit. I'm trying to get that kit used up and gone, because the February one is sitting under my desk, and I really want to start using that. Thankfully, Scraps of Darkness skipped March, so the April kit's on the way, but I haven't touched the February kit, so gonna have to get on that. So actually, I did 5 layouts this weekend, and the January kit is done. I've put it away in my stash, and so we're going to move on, but you'll see a couple of videos, like 5 layouts left of the January kit. So I'm working on this layout. It's a photo, like I said, from that stack of printed photos that I have. It's from 2006, actually. December 2006. So Stu and I were together about 7 months at this time. We weren't married or engaged or anything like that yet, but it was our first, leading into our first Christmas together, and I'm sitting here on the recliner with my niece and nephew. That little girl is now 11 years old. I cannot believe it. And I'm going to apologize real quick about the lighting. As I said, I switched my room all around, and I'm doing a different lighting setup, and I'm seeing here how bad the glare is, so I will get that fixed. But for the next couple of videos, it's going to be glaring like that, and I'm sorry. But I will get that fixed now that I'm seeing it. This was a book of paper that came in the Scraps of Darkness kit, and I'm pretty sure that almost everything I use in this kit, on this layout, is from the kit, with the exception of a spray that you'll see me use, and I'll use some Shimmers paint later on. Here I am going through all of the die cuts that came in the kit, and I'm just pulling out anything that I think will be useful on this layout. I pulled out 2 pieces of paper from that paper pad that came in the kit. I'm going to stop saying that, I promise. And so I have some wood veneer hearts, and these are die cuts. I believe they're from Bo Bunny. And I thought here that the blue might be a really good contrast color for this layout. I don't end up going in that direction, but that was my thought process as I'm pulling out all this blue right now. I thought, oh, this is a really nice contrasting color, and it is. And it would have worked, but I went in a different direction, in a more not quite monochromatic, but we're using a lot of pinks and mauves and that kind of colors on this layout. So what I'm going to do now is I thought about coloring those hearts with the spray that came in the kit, but I didn't know what color the spray was, and then I was like, oh wait, we got embossing powder in the kit. So I decided I was going to heat emboss these hearts. So I'm using the Ranger embossing ink dauber, which I think I like my VersaPad better. My Versamark pad better. I'm not sure about this dauber. I'm gonna use it until the end to make up my mind, but I'm thinking I'm going back to my Versamark ink pads. But anyway, so what am I doing? I'm embossing. So I'm covering these hearts with that embossing ink or whatever they call it, and then I left because, like I said, I was doing this in real time, and I didn't want to excuse me. I didn't want to have you watch me heat emboss hearts. The noises, annoying, and then, you guys know how to heat emboss. So here was my lovely idea that I thought that I might use this heart doily and make some nice hearts on the background of my page. But again, I didn't know what color this spray was that we got in the kit, so I'm doing a test run here. These are Bo Bunny, what are they called? Metallic foil, like rub-ons. I'm glad I did this test with the Distress ink there because it was totally not the right color, so I'm glad I looked at that. I'm over now in my scrap room getting some Prima mist that will work better with my layout. I'm going to test it again. I'm just going to shake it up real good, and I'm going to test it and make sure that that goes with the layout better, and it does. However, this idea, the first heart worked great, and then the doily warped, and it just went icky from there. So we're getting a little bit of what I wanted, but not at all what I really wanted this to look like, and I just go with it. I'm like, it's the background, who cares? I have ink everywhere, so I'm just cleaning that up a little bit. I put this doily on the side, but it warped the paper really bad. I should have pre-treated the paper. I know better, but and then I went and I dried it with the heat tool, but yeah, that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. I thought about using these foil accents, but I'm going to cut them, but I'm not going to use them on this layout. You will see them on the next layout that I'm going to upload. I actually do use them, but I don't use them on this layout at all. So we're going to watch me cut them out for the next layout in this video. Because I just changed my mind. Like, I had this very clear, I know it happens to all of you, right? You have this very clear idea of what you want to do and what you want the layout to look like, and then when you get to the end, you're like, this is nothing like I had in mind. Like, I wanted this layout to be very centered. If you saw that brown paper that I had there, it has borders on both sides. So I was going to run that down the center of the page, and I was going to make a very centered layout. Nope, that doesn't happen at all. And then here, I put that dark red on dark red, and I thought it worked with the floral and the stripe. And here, see, you can see that brown paper. You could see it really quick. It had this border strip down the, there you go. You can see it there. And I'm actually going to use this paper to, what's that word I'm looking for again? I'm going to use that paper to add a matte to my photo. So I matted the photo on a red and beige polka dot, and then I pasted it down on a layer of that brown with the border strip attached. So of course I'm gonna stick these down, and then I don't remember where it was before, and I don't know what I'm talking about here, so ignore the hands. I don't know. I didn't go back and look at what I was saying in the video. I just know that at some point during the video I forgot that I was actually talking to y'all. So I stopped. Here's where I thought about putting that blue. You saw it really quick. I took that blue out of the pile and just looked at it against this layout and ended up not liking it. So I decided no. I did cut that square piece of paper you see there, the light pink, and it says "You are loved," and it came as part of that cut apart sheet. And that one says "Every day I love you more," and that came off of a branding strip of the Kaisercraft paper that came in this kit. So I decide that I'm going to use that doily that is now sprayed that nice soft pink color to kind of break up the darkness of this layout. Like, all the layers are dark. The background is pretty light, but the layers are dark. So I wanted to break that up a little bit, and that's why I use that doily. I'm going to put that little square up on foam tape. And then I really thought about moving that Everyday I Love You More down to the lower right hand corner, but I just loved how it took up that negative space in the upper left hand corner of that photo. So I decided we're just going to put it down there. But I wanted to use that like little scalloped oval label. And so I decided to just mount the, what's that thing? The phrase. Onto that chipboard piece, and I cut. These are the other parts of the border strip, and so I just added that as a little accent on the side there. I do appreciate that whoever makes this chipboard, I think it's Bo Bunny, that they don't put adhesive on it. I'd prefer to put my own adhesive on pretty much everything because I'm gonna put adhesive on it, and then this way it doesn't stick to everything while I'm trying to use it. So I really appreciate that. And we're going to use a bunch of flowers on this layout because the Scraps of Darkness kit comes with a lot of flowers, and I also get the flower add-on. So here I'm plugging in my heat tool. As I said, I rearranged my room, and there's not quite enough power on this desk for everything. And so I'll have to work on that. But I'm hoping that this video renders a bit clearer than it's showing up on the preview screen because it's looking a little blurry, and that worries me a little bit. So hopefully your picture is not blurry. I'll check it out. I'm still going to post the photo. You can see what's going on. It's just that it's a little blurry, and I don't like that. But we'll get it worked out. I don't exactly know. Everything's been changed since the last time I recorded a video, so who knows what's going on. So the next couple of videos may be glaring, and they may be blurry. So, I stamped the date. I used an October afternoon stamp. This was 2006, like I said, and I bought those decade stamps when October Afternoon was selling those, so that really helps when you're going back so many years to scrapbook something. This lace came in the kit. I'm going to stop saying came in the kit. It did come in the kit, though, and it's gorgeous. I love it. So I'm going to use it here, and I use it on a couple of other layouts. Not much of this lace is left when I end this month's use of this kit. So I'm going to layer it out underneath there, and here I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to put it down. Like, how am I going to adhere it? This was not the best idea. If I had thought about it earlier, I would have actually put it down before I put these paper layers down, but we know how I am, and that didn't happen. There's no plan. So yeah, and then I decided to use the liquid glue. I should have done exactly what you see me doing there. I should have put the liquid glue on the actual layout and not the lace. But in the end, it's all sticking down. It's not going anywhere. But there is a bit of a messy cleanup I have to take care of right here. So live and learn. But I haven't learned my lesson yet about that, so who knows. Sticking it down a little bit more. Got to make sure it doesn't move. And there we are. Again, I think about using those foil hearts, but decide, no, I don't want to do that. And now you'll see me leaning over to the right-hand side of the screen a bit, and my hot glue gun is there. And so there it is. That's my hot glue gun. So I think I need a new one. There's one I saw on Amazon that said that it didn't have those little, those strands that come off of, your glue trails when you're using a hot glue gun. I think I may have to buy that, but not in the budget this month. That Georgia trip ruined my budget, so we'll have to wait till April and see if a glue gun is the top of my priority list. There's so much other stuff I want to buy, and I'm on limited resources this year, so I'm sure you've heard in my other videos that I said, I'm on a kind of no spending. There I was just showing you that I thought those flowers were a bit two-dimensional for this layout. Some of those Prima flowers, they've got a bit of depth to them, and so sometimes I feel like they're just a little bit too big. So I'm gonna work with these flowers here, these small ones. They don't end up on the layout. I'm gonna work with. I am gonna put this one down, and then I'm gonna put that heart down. I'm sprinkling the wood veneer hearts around. I also used a couple of buttons from, I think they're from Prima. Or they might, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're from Prima. I thought that that flower that I just tossed aside there was too dark. I am actually going to end up using it anyway, and I'm just going to paint it, but at that point I thought it was too dark. So I'm just scattering these little hearts around, trying to figure out where I want to put them. Oh, you can see my glasses and my pajamas. We're going to have to change the camera angle. That is not good. At least they were cute pajamas this day. Sometimes I just go to sleep in, like, Stu's t-shirt and a pair of leggings, you know? So, at least I was wearing cute pajamas this day. I'm trying to figure out here how I want to fill that, and here's where I'm struggling because I don't have a flower that is the right color. Now, I could have gotten up, I have them in my stash, but I did not have them on my desk, and I really wanted to just use this kit, so I didn't, and I'm kind of lazy, so I didn't want to get up and get them. So I decided to use these dark flowers, but as you can see, they're really too heavy for that part of the layout, in my opinion. So I'm going to actually put some gesso on them and then add some pink color to them so that they're not as heavy up there. I'm going to add a couple pearls around the layout here, just another texture, more interest. Oh, us YouTubers, we use that word a lot, don't we? More interest. So, I am loving how my scrap room is working, though. In the last 2 days, I have used all kinds of supplies that I forgot I even owned. It's been lovely. I really, really enjoy it, so I'm glad I took the time to make the room the way I wanted it, but yeah, it was a lot of work. So here I just took some stickers from the sticker sheet. These are some border strips, and they just have little hearts on them. I hope, beyond hope, that this video is not as blurry as it is when it gets rendered, because yeah, it's really blurry now, and I don't know why. And I can't fix it. So, hopefully I can figure out what's going on for the next video, but this one, I can't do it. So, we'll just have to go with it, and I'm sorry if it does turn out blurry. So I'm going to put the title on here, and it's going to be Me and My Loves. And I'm just using that's Graphic 45 sticker sheet there. There was a lot of Graphic 45 Monomore, I think is the name of the collection. A lot of those papers and stickers and things in this kit. So that's what that is from. Looking at these hearts and these buttons. Part of the reason I don't want to use the buttons is because I don't want to put thread through them. I'm being super lazy. So I decide I'm not going to put thread through them. But what am I going to do? Oh, here's where I decided to go get the gesso and actually take care of those flowers. So I went off. At first I was thinking about using, do I want to just use acrylic paint? Do I want to use gesso? Do I want to use just a pink paint? I was going back and forth looking at what I was going to do. So I pulled some Shimmers paint there, and I'm going to spray that. You have to activate them with water, so that's why I sprayed that right away. And then I'm going to take a paintbrush and a little bit of gesso here, and I'm going to just lighten these flowers up with gesso, and then I'm going to paint them with that pink Shimmers paint. Here we go. Very boring. This is what I'm doing. There's my hair. At least I got my hair done last week and there's no gray in it right now. Good lord. I wish I had the nerve to just let it go gray because I'm annoyed with it. But every time 6 weeks turns around and I'm like, oh, Tara, you need to fix this. I cannot deal with this gray hair. So I'm glad I just got my hair done because otherwise looking at it in this video would be an atrocity. Not so much. There's nothing wrong with gray hair. Everybody's like, be proud of your age. I read that in a Dove chocolate this weekend, so, and, be proud of I am proud. I've earned every one of my 40 years, so, I am very proud of my age, but at the same time, I don't want gray hair. So, I go sit in Tara's chair for 4 hours every 6 weeks. But I wish, I really wish that I could just let it go gray, but I don't. It's not in the cards for me right now, because it's not a pretty gray. My hair does not turn a pretty gray. It's like a brassy it's not good. And it's not all my hair, it's just parts of it, so. Anyway, I know you guys watch my videos to talk to me, to hear me rant about my hair. But anyway, this is a white core paper here, so I decided that the white was a little bit too bright for this layout because there's no other white on it. So I decided to just go ahead and add a little bit of that paint to those spaces where you could see the white rips on that paper. And then just adding a couple of pieces, a couple of paint strokes around the layout because the paint has a little bit of shimmer to it, so it's, giving it a little bit of shimmer effect around the page. And I think that's going to call it done. No, here we go, close-ups there, you can see it. The close-ups look good. They don't look blurry, but I don't know why. I'm going to have to fix it. I will definitely fix it for you guys. But there are the close-ups of what the layout looks like. Nothing too fancy. Just a pretty standard layout for me. And there is the final look at it. So you can head on over to the blog if you want to read more about this photo and things. And otherwise, I will talk to you guys next time. I hope you're doing well and taking care of yourself. See you later. Bye.